Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And with me on the show today is Told Me Babola.
Hi guys, how you doing?
God, must you use that tone?
Come on, man.
I would ignore you today.
Story of
Pressure.
my life.
Precious. You have my full attention today. Nothing for Told Me today. It's not possible. Precious, how are you doing?
Join back. Let me try and join back. I
We
can't.
can hear you.
my
We can
speaker-
hear you.
We can hear you. Oh, okay.
She didn't know we could hear.
Yeah, she didn't know we could hear. So tell me, for every conversation we have when you're on the show, it's kind of resonates with both of us because that's how our relationship is.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Now we're discussing,
Story of my life.
today we're discussing toxic relationships. That's
But
what
we don't have a toxic relationship,
Oh,
you and I.
please.
Do we?
You're toxic.
Am I toxic?
Oh yeah, please.
Come on, man. This is live TV, man. Voila.
Okay, so we're discussing toxic relationship, and we're saying a lot of us ignore the subtle signs that that we see, and now this thing, is it just physical or emotional?
It's emotional.
But it's also physical.
Yeah, well, I think the emotional part weighs more than the physical. And it's even more dangerous than the physical. Because if it's physical, you get to see it. Rather than the emotional one that is killing you inside, you know?
So we're saying, toxic relationships, toxic love,
Love, rather. Yeah.
isn't just physical, it's also emotional.
Emotional.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. So what do you understand by that?
Toxic love.
Isn't just physical.
It's not physical but emotional. Yeah, so when your spouse is emotionally abusing, you know, talking about emotional, maybe is blackmailing you, it's, you know, something you have done, and on every occasion where you fight, he brings it up, you know, or he's being sarcastic to, maybe you're trying to hear how you feel, you know, and then, you know, not taking it seriously. Those are emotional abuse, you know. Even down to the digital part of it, where your partner is always in your business, wants to know who you're chatting with, wants to, if you're chatting with someone he or she probably don't like, the same message to that person. It's also a toxic love. Where your partner basically also wants to control every post you make and all that. It's toxic love. What else? Finances. Either the husband or the wife has some sort of control over funds, and the other party is unable to, you know, make decisions as regards the funds. It's also part of the toxic love. More importantly, I think the manipulation of your spouse's feelings is, I think that tops it. It's a major contribution to toxic love. And a whole lot of people are actually facing this out there. Some actually are aware of it, and some are actually not even aware of it. Some are aware but just decide to, you know, stay in it because they probably don't have any option or any way out of it, you know. And some are aware and are taking it head on with their spouse, basically.
Okay. Your explanation is for somebody who understands what toxic means.
Okay.
Precious, are you back?
Yeah.
Today
Yes, I am.
Today you're my professor. Please, so enlighten us about what you understand toxic means.
Toxic is something that is bad, something that is harmful.
Okay.
So toxic love is love that is harmful, is bad. Now it can come in the form of physical, which is the physical abuse, can come verbal, emotional abuse. And I like the way Tommy went ahead to explain the different ways that toxic love can show up in the relationship.
Okay. Precious, can you hear us?
Yeah, I think she's just done.
Precious, are you done?
Yes.
Okay, so what I want you to explain
Yes,
is,
I'm done.
how do we know when it's toxic? Because your
Okay,
definition
so there
of bad.
are
So what, you know why I said that?
signs.
Sorry,
Yes.
you know why I say that? Because
Yes.
you just said toxic means something that's bad, that's not
Yeah.
good for you. Do you understand? But sometimes it might not be bad, but it's not good for you. that's toxic.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and sometimes these things come like, so you could have a spouse who is trying to protect him or herself, is doing something, but that's toxic for you, because that person is willing to do anything that throws you under the bus, but he thinks he's protecting something. Do you understand? So that's why I want to know, at what point is it toxic?
At the point where you can no longer be your real self in that relationship. So some partners will easily gaslight you. Sometimes it's when partners like they mock you, but they do it in a joking way. So you think it's crowded in love. People walk on. So I see people who say, I'm careful about the things I say around my partner. And in my head, I'm like, why are you walking on eggshells around the one person you're supposed to be vulnerable with? So the constant criticism, the gaslighting, walking on eggshells, and sometimes they try to isolate you from people who would even help you notice that you're in a toxic relationship and save you. They try to isolate you from family, friends, co-workers, so they control your finances. Some go to the extreme. If you even work, you come and submit your salary, to them. Or if you have a shop, they detect when you go to the shop, when you come back home. So anything that is making you not to be your real, authentic, true, loving self in a relationship, where it has to be that person's word, that person's law, that person, like you do everything just the way the person says it is. That can also be, a way to identify that you are in a toxic relationship.
So can I ask a question based on what you just explained? Now, in a
Yes.
case where the spouse in this space, is doing some of these things you mentioned out of sincere,
like I said,
sincere, what's the word I can use? Sincere feelings. It's actually just trying to look out for you, but the receiver finds it unappealing, finds it toxic. How do you navigate around that?
Okay, so communication is key, because if you're trying to protect your partner should know and should understand that I need this protection. But when you say protect, I always ask, what exactly are you protecting your partner from? Are you saying your partner, for instance, in the case of finances, are you saying your partner spends too much, is an overspender, and so you restrict their access to money just because you want to protect them from squandering, their finances? So what exactly are you saying your partner cannot make decisions concerning their own life? Let's say they're in a situation where they are with the opposite sex, and so you feel that if they touch this one, it will fall. So that's the reason why you always try to monitor, where are you going, what are you doing? You said you'll be there 2 hours, it's now 2 hours, 1 minute, and you are still there. You told me you'll be home 5 minutes ago. Where did you stop? I checked the Google map, there was no traffic on that route. The question is, what makes you think this your partner is not adult enough to take care of themselves, that you have to assume the role of caretaker?
Okay, so I think everybody's guilty of that. And why I say that is, you spend time with someone, not necessarily your partner, even your friend. You spend time with someone and you know that so Tommy, just like you and I, let me say this with an example. You and I were close. And I know that Tommy doesn't know how to say no, for example. And then because you're not able to say no, not because it's convenient for you, but you're not just able, you feel bad if you say no to certain things, almost everything. And people, do you understand, are beginning to capitalize and take advantage of that. Yeah. We are close. So if somebody does that, I'm going to say, and I say, Tommy, you don't have to give out. You might start feeling uncomfortable. That every time I'm with Franca, I want to do something that I need to do, but she doesn't allow me to do it. I am thinking I'm helping you out, I'm protecting you. Do you understand? Because I think it's easy to manipulate you, or I think it's easy for people to convince you, or I just feel that you don't have the capacity to say no.
No. Mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So now, Precious, are you saying the way I communicate that thing to Tommy is what is important?
To Tommy. So you're not going to tell him in a way that will make him feel inadequate, as if he's not doing the right thing, as if he can't make the right decisions.
Okay,
So it's going to be more of saying it in love.
But now let me go back again. I don't know that that's me being toxic. I'm going to say it the way I feel. That's what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm going to say it the way I feel. Like, what did they worry you? Why you they behave like this? Because it also takes a lot of self-awareness to say, I might be saying this to Tommy, and Tommy might see that I'm getting into his space. So that's, but naturally, I'll just say, guy, what did they worry you? Must you give everybody? So that's why I say, at what point is it toxic? Because if you're also looking at it, this person might be trying to protect you. And when you said that about relationships and all that, that's why I said we all do it. I'm with someone, maybe I feel that I have this feeling, I might be wrong, but you see, I just have this feeling that sometimes men do not understand women. That's how I feel. So just subconsciously, if a guy, you understand, is around a woman and you see his partner acting in a funny way, not blame the girl. Because you find out that most times, eventually, if there's nothing like hindering that guy from doing that thing, the other girl will get him into her bed. It happens.
True.
You need to have a lot of self-control. And guess what? It doesn't even mean the guy is loose. People do crazy things. Tommy, you know what I'm talking about. Ladies go all the way. You go just day. Your own friend as a woman go come your house. If he naked for your husband. And then your husband is in a fix and he can't even tell his wife because you don't even and it's not like the guy is thinking anything. Innocently. He doesn't want, because he's saying, if I tell my wife, will she believe me? If I tell my wife, what's she going to say to her friend? You just find out that at that point, you're in a fix. You don't even know what to say or what to do. So, Precious, that's why I'm saying that, you know, there's always a thin line when we call things certain things. You know, when we say toxic, I understand that there's a part where it becomes toxic. But again, let's try and also analyze these things before we give them names.
So, there's a part when it becomes toxic, yeah?
And I agree.
When does it become toxic? Maybe when you've oversaid it and then the other opposite party is now rebelling towards whatever you're trying to communicate. Now, in events of that, now, say for example, you decide, okay, this person on the vex, yeah, they try
and I'll step back.
You step back. And then that stepping back will make you keep on pulling back even further. And then the other person now might eventually make a crucial mistake.
But you see, that's why it depends on two people. Because I think I am helping.
And then when the thing happen, you just lock up, say, I don't talk. You're not going to talk.
And you know it happens all the time.
I talk calm now, but
so Precious. You know? So Precious. How do we?
You even feel guilty.
Sorry, Precious. You were saying something. Who would feel? You won't feel guilty, or you would feel guilty.
No, I'm saying something guilty because if I spoke up.
No, I won't feel guilty.
I'm sorry, I won't feel guilty.
I'm sorry, I won't feel guilty.
The person who
no, Precious, I won't feel guilty.
If I've spoken about this over and over again, you make me feel bad for trying to tell you.
Precious,
I
I
can't
won't
feel guilty. I'm sorry.
I won't feel guilty. In fact, the only reason why I'm not going to say, Shebi, I talk and since you say no, I'm making up like say.
Because emotional intelligence. Say it don't happen and you want the rubber from my face. That's the only reason why I'll be tempted to actually say it. I tell you, I don't tell you. But because of emotional intelligence, you just don't make it matter what, don't rub it on the person's face.
You just keep quiet.
Pull back. Maybe sometimes later, if you can pull them out, say, but I told you about this thing. You said I'm getting to you. I'm not making you make decision by yourself, or whatever the case is. But and then I decided to stay back. Now see, it has happened.
So Precious. Okay, so let's go back to what we're talking about, because you know why. I don't know why. See, trust me, I understand these things are there. I respect people's opinion, but where I have a problem is when people begin to abuse it. Now, somebody is trying to tell you something, and you say the person is toxic. Just the same way
Oh,
men
no.
abuse. Yeah, that's just the same way men abuse with respect, or women abuse certain things. You see a man, you're doing something wrong, and you know it's wrong, but because of this thing in your head that because your wife talks back at you, she's disrespectful. You know you're doing something wrong, but because you want to gaslight. I think that's the part when it becomes toxic. Because you are already used to gaslighting. But again, if you now go back to start saying that, is it really gaslighting? Again, go say na culture. That's what he's used to. That's the way he understands to send his
When you
own.
say gaslighting, is it
Okay, so for example,
speaking in a tough voice, shouting?
No, not even that. So for example, you do something and your wife is saying, this thing you did is wrong. Instead of apologizing, you're saying, is that how to speak to me? You're trying to manipulate the situation, reverse psychology. You understand? And you're doing that not because you're not wrong, because in this culture or in this environment,
The man is always right.
the man is always right.
No, but no.
But do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's so you say
That's
so.
not toxic itself.
Exactly, that's what we're saying. So at what point, because it becomes complicated, I don't want someone to abuse that word toxic, and I also don't want somebody to now say, oh, he's not being toxic when he's being toxic. You see, there's a thin line. So I think it now has to do with tolerance.
Exactly, not being toxic when it's being toxic. Okay, it doesn't feel it's toxic, but the other party feels toxic. That's what I'm trying to
Yes.
say. And tolerance, exactly. How far are you willing to accept a certain...
And understanding.
Exactly.
And if you understand your partner, you know when they are trying to protect you and when they are crossing the line into being toxic.
Exactly. But guess what? Some of these people understand that this partner is trying to protect, but I don't know, maybe because of some certain belief or equality or wherever it is, you feel the person is trying to, come into your space, and then you hear them say, you're being toxic, you're being toxic, you're being toxic. In fact, they've even abused the word toxic everywhere now, if you ask me.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. So, and I think, okay, I respect self-awareness. I respect the fact that, we have gotten to the point where we can actually work on ourselves and do things, But then let's not abuse it. Let's do things right. Let's be sure that we're equally not at fault, because sometimes we are equally toxic. The person who is saying that person is toxic, even the way you react is toxic.
We react is toxic. This thing just reminded me, on Monday I was at my friend's office. Sorry to just take us a bit away. I just came in, I saw my guy eating at the reception. And his friend, so to say, bestie or whatever. His bestie's office rather. So he called me and I came over there to take him because his car was faulty. And he was eating at the bestie's reception. And I think the bestie was trying to communicate, but she was in a meeting. But I think she sent him a message, but he didn't see it. So when it was time for us to leave, he went inside to say, okay, bye-bye to the bestie. And he noticed a certain reaction. I'm like, this is not my bestie now. Have I done anything wrong? And then he looked at her again. And then she got up and followed him out. With puffed body, puffed everything. Even me, I just stayed by my own side for what's going on. Only for the guy, because the guy came to tell me the story. Only for the guy to come, the bestie to come outside with the guy, and then she told him, why are you eating the reception? All angry and all that. And then the guy's like, what's wrong with eating the reception? I didn't think it was wrong to eat in the reception. Okay, but if you felt I was eating in the reception and you felt bad about it,
Why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you tell me? Because you are puffed up, and I don't think the level of your anger commensurates to what I've done. Because I personally didn't feel I was doing anything wrong. And then when my guy came to tell me, so why is she vex? Because you the chop for reception. Are you not friends? You're besties. Well, and even though she finds it wrong with you, there's a better way to approach it. And then we'll call it toxic because he was eating the reception. But for me, the reaction was toxic. In my own case, if I was interpreting the whole situation, that reaction was toxic.
So you see, goes back to how people take things, your level of exposure, because you'll be shocked that she expects that guy to know that.
How would he know?
But how will you not know?
To eat in the reception?
Yes. Because that's where people come in, the food smell and all that. So that smell just spreads. Office space. It's wrong.
Well.
So would that guy eat at the reception in his own office?
Well, depends, Sha.
Tommy,
Yeah?
let's be honest.
I don't know.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. If you went to your space and you see somebody eating at the reception, when you know your clients will walk through that place and the smell, maybe he's eating begiri.
But in this case, I was just eating bread.
It is not a definite. It is not a matter of what he was eating. Egg, the smell.
No egg did there.
Tommy, I'm just saying it because if he had eaten there, he would have decided to eat anything there.
But in this case, it's not something that is smelling. It's not.
Tommy, you don't get it. If that guy was going to eat amala, he was going to eat it there.
No, I don't think he would have eaten amala there because he obviously knows it to smell. In this case, he was just eating crumbs, bread crumbs. So I don't think it's not smelling. It's like biscuit now.
No. For you to say he was eating, if he was just taking something like chips, that's not eating.
What's that?
Is that not just snacking on something?
So snacking
Was it
because
that
he was
snacking?
snacking on something.
What was he
It's
snacking
not
on?
food now, like bread. All this bread inside, all this bread they bring from abroad, we be like galas, small galas. You understand? That's what we're snacking on. Which is why, if it's bakery, of course, how would you eat amala in that kind of place? If it's jollof rice, even jollof rice, we know way too no smell, but of course it affect the whole scenario. Why did you do that? But it was just, that's why I'm on the side. It was just something like gala.
Anyway, but I just feel that the definition or this word toxic needs to be emphasized on. Everybody needs to understand. So, but again, what you can take as a person is also important. Tommy, the things I do with you, if I do it to Precious, she might think she's in a toxic relationship with me.
True. Everybody has different tolerance level. Actually.
Like I feel you harass me.
I too. Who they harass you? Precious, who they harass you for me and this woman for this place, for goodness sake?
But guess what? Because I know that Tommy, if I just behave as if I'm soft, he will kill me. I am now a lioness. If he disturbs me, I disturb him times two. So I'm giving him the same energy. So, but guess what? What I'm trying to say
My wife
is...
says this thing. If someone doesn't match my level, the person might get intimidated or just get,
Oh, that's what your wife...
Yes, if someone doesn't match my level.
Because Tommy has a very... Okay, so let me just tell you what happened. And this happened on social media. Somebody teased Tommy. Somebody said... there was this... I can't remember. Tommy, there was a post. And then somebody said whether they go beat somebody, whether I go beat man or something. Tommy actually replied to this girl and said, "Oh, you na man now. You not be babe now. You na man. You dey beat man steady." I saw that post and I shook my head. The girl told me, "You dey mad." I went and gave the girl thumbs up. You know why? How would even Tommy call a girl a man on social media?
On social media.
Tommy meant what he was saying.
I meant it.
You see
I meant what I was saying.
So, because I know Tommy, let me be honest, I kind of picture the girl as a man. I'm being honest.
But then again, not be say the girl will be man.
But the way she
because the way she entered me and say, you get her mind to talk to me like this now, it means okay, you go fit big man now. That was where I was coming from.
But guess what? For somebody else, somebody would say that, Tommy's energy, I like Tommy, Tommy, they give me correct vibes and all that. Somebody else who is very, say, I beg, Tommy, his energy is too much for me. I can't.
Actually didn't get a role because of that. This exact statement just said, Tommy's energy is not for this department. He needs something, he has so much energy. And I actually wanted that role, but because of that simple statement, I didn't get the role.
Do you understand? So somebody would just say, "Oh, Tommy," and then because of the word and awareness everybody is claiming they have right now, they would define it as a toxic, that Tommy can be toxic sometimes. So that's why I kind of want us to understand that what's toxic to you
It's not toxic to another person.
might not be toxic to the other person. So it's an individual thing.
Yeah.
But then what's the borderline? You understand?
How do we define the
How do we define the borderline?
How do we
Is it determine the borderline? Is it when it begins to affect you mentally? Is it, is it when you now start, when your relationship, because the truth is.
I think it's when you start to feel unhappy about it.
Oh, but Tommy, let me now tell you something. If somebody is doing something to me, but they will say it's awareness. If somebody begins to do something to me And I tell myself, instead of getting angry, instead of feeling bad about what that person is doing, I give the person the same energy. Can the person take it? Do you understand?
That's another angle, actually.
So if you scream at me, I would calm down. I won't tell you. I'll just calmly tell you, do not scream at me anymore. If you don't get it, the next day, when you're calm, I scream at you. And when you say something, I'm telling you, but you did it and I didn't say anything. I was calm.
So take it.
So take it.
You can't eat your cake and have it.
So
man.
I'm just saying. But then somebody else might say, oh, I don't have that time or energy to put into all that. I don't want to be in that space.
That means that person starts pulling back. That's
That
where
person
resentment starts to come in again.
That person starts to pull back. So I just feel that people should just understand how people react to things. And then guess what again? You'll be shocked that somebody would say that if I don't treat this person like this, the person might just get spoiled or over-pampered. Children, parents are kind of tough with their children because they want them to be hard. And then you hear the children saying, they might not define it as toxic, but they'll call their parents wicked.
Sorry. Wicked.
Tough love.
Sorry?
Tough love. She said tough love.
Yes.
Tough love.
Yes. So they call it, and then guess what? With what we know now, you now hear people saying those children grew up in a toxic home. That's what is defined as toxic home.
That's wrong, man.
But that's what it is. So the parent thought,
That means we all grew up in a toxic home.
Exactly.
Let be that too. If that's
All
the case.
of
So.
us.
That's why I said people are now abusing
but
that
guess
word
what?
toxic.
But Precious, be honest. With what we see right now in the counseling world and the way people narrate their stories, everybody's from a toxic home.
Actually.
Yes.
Yes.
If you were born in the 70s, if you were born in the 80s, even early 90s, then parents were still very
90s,
tough.
yes.
Yes.
Even 2000 self.
No, 2000, no, things don't they relax. My kids call me wicked. My kids say, you people don't know my mom. My mom is very wicked. But then,
You flog them.
you say, and even they blow you. But so that's what I'm asking. Is it really toxic? You never see, hear what I say, when we're talking about something, we say, if not my pikin, I go kill him. There's this energy where women get, say, I bore you, you want, things like that. So I need to understand, because a lot of things have gone wrong. I'm being honest. So many things have gone wrong. There's no morals. There are no morals anymore. And it's sad. Everything goes because people don't want to be in toxic relationship, because people are self-aware, because people claim they know it all. No. So what is this? So is discipline toxic?
No, it's not. Well, now the level of discipline can make it toxic.
Okay. So that's what we're saying now. But even they said, okay, so toxic is not even just physical. How do you emotionally define toxic?
So, like I earlier said, now bringing it to define or determine toxic, I think it now comes down to the tolerance level.
No. So, we said toxic love isn't just physical.
Yeah.
Or attitude. Your expression is not just physical. Now, when is it emotional? When is toxic relationship or love emotionally? How do you know an emotional feeling is toxic?
So let's take for example blackmailing. Okay, using something someone has done in the past to try to oppress that person.
Is that toxic?
That's toxic. Say for instance, maybe
that's manipulation as well, right?
It's under manipulation.
Okay.
So you're using what that person had done to, take advantage of the moment to suppress that person's, voice to speak out. That's toxic. So because I've done this, you want me to keep quiet, and of course, now be on top and use that to override whatever feeling I have. That's toxic. So maybe I feel bad about something you did. You not tell me, did you not do it that time? So why are you telling me not to do it now? It's
okay,
toxic.
So when your partner is jealous, is that toxic?
Again, it comes to the level of
Precious.
It depends. So jealousy depends really, because each and every one of us display jealousy at different times for different reasons. So I would say, how to put it, would I say it's healthy jealousy? But as long as that jealousy is not, you're not belittling your partner, you're not guilt tripping them, you're not making it look like, if not for me, or the person, even if it's not your partner, a friend, if not for me, you wouldn't have been able to achieve this. Like, so you see the person with someone else, maybe are not, there are some friends who are actually toxic to their fellow friends. They just want to be the only ones controlling everything in your life. So criticism, belittling, emotional manipulation, all of them. Jealousy can be toxic when it becomes excessive and you're not allowing the person breathe.
Okay. So when somebody says that I just love you so much, I don't want to lose you.
That's not toxic. Okay, you mean in response to
So
your behavior?
the sentence is not toxic.
Exactly.
But
The sentence.
so
But
what
the
is toxic?
action that follows the sentence.
Is toxic.
Okay, so before it's not
You
toxic.
lock me inside the house and tell me that it's because you love me, you don't want to lose me. Then you lock me inside the house and go out.
And then it becomes toxic.
So when somebody says I love you so much, I don't want to lose you, and then in reality they're trying to control you.
That's manipulation now.
That is toxic.
Toxic.
Yes.
You know, and so silent treatment as punishment.
That's the highest toxic anyone can ever get.
Women have gotten A1.
And it is annoying, if I must say.
You know why I'm laughing? Because Tommy is very good at expressing himself. So
No. A lot of ladies do that
So
shit.
when you're talking and the person is not responding.
Exactly, you're trying to, okay, that was even
giving
better.
you one
Or maybe you just
syllable
want to just go
answers,
quiet.
yes.
You just
No.
go quiet. And the other party does not even know why you're quiet. And then you are asking, what's the problem? And the person just keep quiet. That shit is annoying. Oh, that's toxic.
let's quickly go on the break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I know see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can actually call in to join in this conversation on 070-2500-7749 or 070-1424-2420. You can send us a message on our WhatsApp number 08190384663. Call us and tell us what you think about toxic relationship. But while we were on break, we're saying something. Tommy and I were having an argument. Precious.
Yeah.
Precious, so is it true or would you agree that they're humans? Human beings are just toxic. If you see them, everything about them defines what toxic. Do you agree?
I'm on the line here.
Let me help you agree. Now, what we had today, you see a man beating a woman out there. Everybody will rush in to pull the guy. Why are you beating? In fact, some guy even beats the man for beating a woman. But now let's reverse the table. If you see a woman who's beating a man, everybody will just they pass. They waka, let the woman beat the man. Is that not a toxic behavior?
Why did you make it a gender thing?
I'm not making a gender thing. I'm trying to help her understand that you can look at a human being.
There are better ways to do that. And let me just do that for you.
But answer the question. Is that not toxic?
I don't know. Let me define. Let me. So what I meant was, Precious, there are humans that it could be, so regardless of the gender, male or female, there are people who naturally they know how to keep malice. That's what they thrive on. They are PhD holders with silent treatment. One person knows how to keep malice, PhD holder, silent treatment, doesn't know how to use the right words, is emotionless, doesn't even smile. Do you understand? And guess what? These things about this person has nothing to do with Tommy or me. That's how the person is from whatever the person has been through in his life. That person, you are trying to show this person love, but he doesn't understand what love means. For him, love is that you lie down on the floor and let him match you or do whatever he needs to do with you. That is what his definition of love is, or her definition of love is. Because you even see women who say their husband is giving them everything and they don't think the man is doing anything. It happens. I have seen relationships where the man cannot open his mouth and talk.
Because the woman is in control.
Because the woman is in control.
What makes her in control? She has more or what?
It's not about having more, it's her attitude. I had a conversation today with someone. And I was watching a clip from the show. And we were saying, I think it was my conversation with you where we were saying that sex is it's very important in compatibility. And he said, I'm not enjoying my marriage.
He
said, yes. He said, I'm not enjoying my marriage. And I said, why? He said, my wife is very good to every other person. But to me, she's not giving me what I want. He says, in a year, I'm having sex with my wife 4 times a year. Why? Because there's always a church program. Sometimes she's not in the mood. You know, I gave different reasons. But he said the wife is the best woman in this world. That she can do anything, that everybody in his family love the wife.
But she's not best for him.
So it's not about, so I now told him, I said, if you define or if you address your wife as the best person, that means there's something wrong that you are not seeing. It's possible she doesn't like how she looks when naked.
Or how he gives her the sex.
Or she's not, I didn't want to make him feel bad about his performance. So, and I don't know what his performance is like, so I can't address that. So I was like, it's also possible that she's not engaging in sex because she's not able to tell you what she wants. That's how I put it. So because she's not able to tell you what she wants, you're not able to give her what she wants. And then it becomes boring for her. And she doesn't want to engage in it anymore.
That one saved day.
That one saved day. So have you tried talking to her about it? And he says it always leads to quarrel. He says, I want to get home and have a chat with my wife. I want to be able to tap my wife, you know?
That tapping, Naimo, let's go.
Let's go. Told me you're toxic.
What did I do again?
So, precious like I was saying. So he wants to be able to tap his wife. He wants to have conversations with the wife and all that. But she's not giving room for this kind of thing, no. She's not giving room for this kind of thing. And that's what a lot of people go through. So you find out that guy saying he's in a toxic relationship.
Is he in a toxic relationship?
Precious, is that guy in a toxic relationship?
Yes, in a sexually toxic relationship. Because like you said, she's good to every other person. Ma'am?
No, see, it's not about her being good to every other person.
That's
who she is.
Unless you're about to say she's giving someone else the sex.
Yeah, that's when you say she's toxic. Because that's when do you understand? Exactly. She's nice. That's who she is. The thing she would do for every other person, she would also do it for him. But when it comes to sex, that's what he wants.
So they need to have a conversation. They need to communicate. So there's probably something he's doing or not doing that she has not said to him.
Yeah, it's not communicating well on that level.
No, but let me say something at this point. Do you know that I don't think it's everybody that's comfortable discussing sex?
Even spouses?
Yes. Precious, am I lying?
That's weird.
Precious.
Yes, so especially spouses. Especially
Really?
spouses.
Tommy.
I didn't know
When
that.
Yes, I'm here.
When you're lucky and you have something, trust me, cherish it. Do you know there are marriages that they can't even have that conversation, say, the knack when we knack yesterday. They can't, once they knack, they can't discuss it.
And they're supposed to be husband and wives?
What is there supposed to be? They are husbands and wife. They are husband and wife.
I don't know how to imagine that kind of relationship.
Because you have a good relationship. Precious, have you had issues where sex, they can't discuss sex, where this, that, and it's toxic and blah, blah, blah?
Because
and
you have a good one.
And the,
Yes.
and the sex is even
Yes.
terrible.
Get us a beer. Get us a beer. You should be able to tell your spouse, oh, well, you know, try. It's always, no, it's true now. It's always, you just
You see,
come down
that's
now.
the
You don't
thing.
tell
Tommy,
your
you're saying you should be able to. These people can't.
Told me ready, fight.
What
The
Franca
way they
is
look-
saying, that's the way they were. That's the way they grew up.
Precious,
That's
the
the
way
way
they
they
look
were
told me.
made. That's the only reality they know.
The way I'm looking at Tommy, if you told me say you want to your wife, not ready, fight.
No,
You ready?
no, at all.
So,
Sometimes I even try to observe the moment. If I try and I see it's not forthcoming, come on, I understand.
See what you said now, you will understand.
Yeah.
So that understanding is what maybe that guy is complaining because the guy has refused to understand.
And so, well, I want to be fair on the
4
guy.
times a year.
4 times, that's absorbed now. So it's possible the guy, if you don't talk, tire. Maybe the woman is not just responsive. Do you understand?
I know person will say they rape your wife.
You tell me that time.
Oh, I told you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so the man's probably going through something this guy is doing. Is that one is a toxic man. That's why he
He said the toxic man.
That's why he rape his wife. Now.
He said.
Why you rape your wife? It's rape.
No, listen.
No, there's rape in marriage.
No, wait,
even.
let me listen.
It's not
Wait,
consensual.
guess what? The guy cannot cheat. The guy said he can't cheat.
So rather rape his wife.
Not be rape your wife. They are sleeping on the same bed.
Yeah.
If they totori.
But
They
she
struggle, they struggle. The woman cage
Finally, she
everything.
can't really.
So when she tired to struggle.
Yeah.
So my question at that
Was it
point
consensual? Unless they were playing. But from
Which
what you
play?
say, then was it consensual? He raped her.
but he had to come.
You know, if he.
Soapy?
I'm not an advocate of Soapy, but he can
Is
dry.
it?
He can dry now.
Please, hold your mic and say it.
He can
Hold your mic.
You can try.
Voila.
So, but trust me, a lot of marriages are going through
not
it.
easy.
Come on. 4 times
Yes.
in a year is
Yes.
terrible. I'm sorry. I wouldn't blame that guy if he goes out. I will not blame him. Because as a wife, it's one of your duties in a marriage to give your husband sex.
But guess what? Sometimes it's also the same way. Some men don't sleep with their wives.
Then
So you
I'm
just-
sorry
your-
too.
your
I
energy.
won't blame the woman too for going out.
So I just want you to
Because
use
how
that
can you be
same
married?
energy.
No. How can you get married to somebody and give the person sex 4 times a year?
Good.
I'm
So I
sorry.
will not blame. So you also not blame the woman
No,
for going
if
out.
the man is doing that, I won't blame her. Even though it's wrong, I won't blame her.
How is it wrong? Why did you say it's wrong when you were?
Say, let me tell you something.
It's wrong for the woman,
let me
but
tell
it's
you
not wrong
something. If a
for the
woman
man.
goes out and sleeps with another man, it has destroyed the man. I don't know. It's just the way it is. It destroys his ego, you know.
Can you imagine? You're actually saying that.
I'm sorry. I'm speaking for men out there.
Wait, Tommy, you're defending the men.
You see how shameless this man is. You see how shameless this guy is. Shameless.
Don't forget, I said, I can't blame the man if he goes out. Likewise, I would not blame.
I told you.
Precious, hold on now. Likewise, I said I will not blame the woman.
I'm in a toxic
Hold
relationship
on.
with you.
Likewise, I said I will not blame the woman if she goes out.
But even if it's
However,
wrong, you said it's wrong.
not ever. It will destroy a man's ego.
No, you said it was wrong.
What is the
It's wrong for both
What
sides.
is
What's
wrong?
wrong is wrong for both. It's wrong for both sides. I'm
don't-
not defending anybody.
Uh-huh.
But why I decided to say further is it destroys a man's ego.
It also destroys the woman's
It
ego.
destroys a woman's ego too.
It does. But
Is it
I'm
like,
speaking from a man's point of view. And how a man will feel to know that another man don't climb a wife.
go
Come
away.
on.
So why you feel
I
say
don't
women they feel when they
understand.
know say the man climb another woman?
You get something I want to talk, but man, I don't know talk about
Say
national
it, say
TV.
it, say it.
Tommy, climbing is climbing.
Even if na ladder, they climb, it's climbing.
But let's not debate. But back to the
Tommy,
Stop
please
it.
say
Back
that
to
you
what
wanted
I
to say.
said.
Tommy.
Back to what I said.
Tommy,
And what I
say
said
it.
is what I said.
Yeah.
If the woman is starving him of sex, 4 times in a year, he's free to go outside. I'm sorry. It quotes me anyway. Likewise for the woman too. If the man is starving her of sex 4 times in a year, but before I would now, she's equally free to go out.
But there are men. Do you know there are men? So I have heard stories like the men only sleep with the women when they want to have children.
That's bullshit.
I know somebody, you see 4 times a year, I've heard 4 times. I know a woman who said in her marriage of about 13 years, maybe they've had sex only 5 times.
How? And they're both okay with it? So, it's 2 things. Maybe they're okay with it.
How did she say it if she was okay with it?
5 times. Then where's the guy getting his pleasure?
Exactly. They climb ladder.
Tommy, you have no idea the kind of things we hear. And these are like
5
the
times
realities
how many years call
every day.
I'm finding that hard to believe.
I'm telling you, it happens.
It happens.
So how the woman, they hold her body all the while too?
Dildo.
What is the
Tommy says don't change.
I'm ready for him. He's toxic, so I'm ready for him.
You're toxic.
He say I'm toxic.
Yes.
He say I agree. I'm meeting your energy.
No meeting any energy.
I'm meeting at the middle.
Hey, nah, chai.
But seriously, things are happening to me. So it's really sad.
4 times a year.
What is 4
It's
times a
too
year?
much.
5 times in 13 years.
I don't want to talk about that one. I'm talking about the guy 4 times a year.
Why are you not talking about the woman?
That's like
It's
once
outrageous. I can't
every
imagine
2 or
5
3
times in 13
years.
years. How many kids do they have?
About 5?
So that the 5 times where he shoots, and him the sex, I find it hard to believe, man.
Okay. When I heard it, I said the woman was lying. Precious, have you heard stories like that
Since
before?
they happen, shall.
Precious,
Tommy,
can you share a
don't
story?
worry.
Precious, can you
It
share
happens.
a story?
It's crazy.
No, Precious, let's not look
Yes,
like
I've had a client who,
Okay.
It's crazy.
her and her husband,
Okay.
Did we lose Precious there?
so she filed for divorce, and her reason was that, yeah, I'm here. Is it
Okay.
signal?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
we
you
can
can hear
hear
you
you,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she filed for divorce because they had been married a little over a year, and they had had sex only twice. And the husband's reason was they are supposed to be spending that time, using that energy to look
pray.
for money instead
For
of
money.
staying on the bed.
People, sure, I don't know.
Tommy,
Yeah.
speak up.
I see some people I don't to look for money. I don't understand.
Tommy, hold your mic like this.
They know they
Speak up.
Yes,
sleep.
sir.
They don't sleep for night for bed.
That time not to pray.
That's a flimsy excuse as far as I'm concerned.
So, Precious, what did you find out? So, what was actually happening? How was the guy having sex?
We actually found out after like 6 months of her coming, because she came to therapy just before the divorce. So 6 months before the divorce was finalized, we found out that he liked older women.
So that means it was the cause of the absence of sex in the marriage. Then.
Yeah.
It was the cause.
Get your mic.
Voila. It'll be the same thing. It can be older women.
It's not the same.
Not the same. Nah.
So, but a lot of people have serious issues.
That was his preference. So the question was, why did you get
Then why
married
did
to
you
a
marry her
younger
in the first
woman
place, for goodness
if
sake?
you
I put the
actually
girl under
prefer
unnecessary
older women?
stress. That's selfishness.
Yeah.
That's toxic now. Now that's toxic. No, that's toxic now. Come on.
And she left. She left.
And then, and because she's a good woman, which I'm sure of, is why she came out to express herself. If she wasn't a good woman, she'd say, go outside, go they look for what she's missing.
Tommy, I beg, if as a counselor,
Yeah.
if you were a counselor, what advice will you give?
I'm a natural person right now. That person will be
Repeat.
counselor. I am speaking from a normal husband point of
Tommy
view.
go scatter plenty people marriage.
As the man just a talk, Tommy go say, "Come, bless you, we go box each other." What do
As
you
in
mean?
Tommy
You're
go
not blessed with
scatter.
He
your
go
wife?
boss you, make it come at the wait. Shoo.
Tommy go scatter people marriages. I'm telling you, Tommy.
No, but I've not said anything out of the extraordinary. For
No, you
goodness sake.
cannot say. So Tommy, if the woman comes to tell you that, okay, so I found out my husband is cheating, and every time we have sex, he gives me this STD, you understand, and all that. Which advice you would give the woman?
Ah. What am I supposed to be in this case?
Anybody you want to be right
Not
now?
a counselor, right?
You as told me and as a
No, the
counselor,
counselor.
Wait, a normal person, a counselor.
you are going to be both right now.
Ha. To be honest, Frank, answer that question. I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. You must answer the question.
To be honest,
Okay.
she needs to stop having sex with her husband.
1,
She needs to sit and have a conversation with her husband.
2.
They both need to seek for therapy, counseling, someone to talk to them and find out why he's doing what he's doing, and why. It's basically on his own side this time around. She's the one having sex and it's giving her STD. So they need to find out why he's doing what he's
So
doing.
speak out because your audience can't hear you. I need you to speak because the way the guy they attack me, I need you to speak out. Speak out. Let people hear that. That's what you said.
So basically, speaking as a counselor and myself at the same time, if a woman, a wife, finds out she's been having STDs, because obviously the man has been doing something outside, which is why she's having the STDs, my first point of action is to tell her to stop having sex with him. After that, then they both need to see somebody, counselor. Maybe me in this case. Not me in this case.
He said, not me in this case. Tommy, what would you do?
Franca in this case.
It's a Franca in this case. So what would you do if you found out that a man has HIV and was forcing the wife to sleep with him, and the wife
he
didn't
knew,
know.
and he knows.
He knew he had it, but the wife didn't know.
He needs to be. I'm on TV. That's barbaric in itself. I don't use what's thought this time. It's beyond toxic. That's barbaric. That's abnormal. That's wickedness in all entity. Because why will you go out there, get HIV, and want to force your wife to have sex with you, knowing fully well that you have it?
So, Precious, do we agree? We have less than 3 minutes. Do we
Already?
agree that, yes, do we agree that a lot of relationships are a bit toxic?
Actually, yes.
Most relationships, 80% of the relationships we have out there are a bit toxic.
Yeah.
But people are just managing. The individuals are managing to keep it together. Do you agree?
Yes. Yes. So it just boils down for each party to be able to...
Yes, I do.
It
I
boils
agree
down for each
totally.
party to understand their tolerance level.
Okay.
Okay, whilst you understand your tolerance level, you also need to be able to communicate. And whilst communicating, to communicate in such a way that the other party does not feel bad.
Okay.
Because we discussed some time ago, some people's level of assimilating an information it differs. The other person might think you are trying to be feel bossy, so feel better, and in that case again, that person's already feeling bad. That becomes toxic. So you need to understand your partner basically, and of course, like we've discussed before, set boundaries. That way, I think they can, sail smoothly.
Okay.
In that regard.
So really, again, I think for everybody, you should define what toxic is to you.
Exactly.
Define what it means to you and what you're able to tolerate and not tolerate.
Yes.
And then, if you have done that, if you know that, if you know that picking a bag shouldn't be an option.
As in leaving the marriage, right?
As leaving the marriage shouldn't be an option in the sense that find out why this person is like this. Because most times you find out that it's not about you.
True.
Sometimes it's not about you.
Yeah,
it's not about
be going through his own.
He might
own
just
thing.
be going through his own thing.
Yeah.
And then when you ignore,
it's even hurting that person too again.
when you ignore, when you even ignore, when you don't react, the person just comes out of it. But reacting to something that the person doesn't even know they are doing.
Do you understand?
Triggers something.
Exactly. Hurts.
Because the person is saying, why are you reacting like this? What have I done?
What have I done? Without even communicating. And then when the person now finally hears it, and the person like,
did I do that?
No, that do that. Or is that it? Okay, well, while I understand that I'm not in control of how you react or how you feel about something. I mean, come on, I didn't know about it. So I think it still boils down to
it can be
communication.
honest. So it can.
Yes.
Communication.
So most times it can be honest, because I found out that a lot of things I would define or I would say is toxic is really not toxic, because the person doesn't just do it to me. The person does it to other people. So I tell myself,
it's the person's nature.
That's the person's nature. So what I just tell the person is, okay, so I know this is you, but please don't bring it to my space.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Fantastic response.
I know
Boundaries.
Yes, I know
Boundaries.
this is you,
But
but
I
it
don't
would
like
be
it,
nice not
please.
to bring it to my
Exactly.
space. You know.
And whilst you're communicating that, not that voice you just use. I understand that this is you, but I don't think I'm comfortable with it. You know,
No,
it's
trust
emotional intelligence. Come on.
Trust me, it's not. The tone really doesn't matter right now,
You're being toxic.
Baba.
Now you're being toxic.
Now you're bringing
I mean, the pressure.
guy-
That's been toxic for goodness
guy.
sake, man.
I'm gonna kill this guy.
You
That's
see?
me.
You
That's
see?
me
Toxic.
being toxic
No,
right
no,
now.
she's being firm. She's being firm.
Being fair whilst altering that person's feeling, right?
Tell me, I can't hurt your feelings. You don't have feelings.
Jesus
Precious, do you have something to say before we leave?
is Lord.
Please, Precious, you have something to say. Last
So,
quick comment.
Yes, so there are so many reasons why people become toxic. Yes, there are so many reasons why people become toxic, but as human beings, so just communicate. That's what we've been trying to say all along.
Okay.
Communicate. Say, look, this is what you're doing. This is how I feel about it. This it makes me feel, and hopefully with you dying or that's the only reason why we say you can now leave a toxic relationship.
So what I would simply say is always try to put yourself in that person's shoes. I think in that way it can also help to, manage people's expectations and reaction.
I would say if you're going through anything, send us an email and we'll get you sorted.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. See you tomorrow.